episode of Nikki Talks Food. So today we're gonna make a naked cake. Naked cakes are very popular right now. So a naked cake is a cake that has a minimal amount of icing on that gives it kind of a rustic look, which is really in right now. Everybody's having barn weddings and these beautiful outdoor forest weddings. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make a naked cake very easily. So the first thing that we have to do is we got our basic cake grounds, and I'll post a link or a suggestion of where I get my recipes from for cake. So the first thing we gotta do is we just put a little bit of buttercream onto our turntable, onto our cake board. So we have a cake board. This one's ginormous. I'm gonna end up cutting it down. But we have also a turntable to make our lives easier. If you don't have one of these, you can always just make your cake on a plate and spin it around as you go. You don't need all the fancy equipment. So the first thing we want to do is level our cake, and we're going to end up making this 4 layers. So this is 1 layer, and we're going to just take the top off so that we make it nice and even, so we don't have that backyard barbecue look. Although this cake is very rustic, it's not meant to be a dome style cake. We want really square shoulders, and that is the most stunning part of the cake, is that it's very square and symmetrical, but it has a minimal amount of icing on it. So we're just gonna go ahead and level off our cake here. And I recommend using a bread knife, and the thing is, you're gonna be cutting towards your hand, which is kind of in the no-no range. We shouldn't really do that, but sometimes it's necessary in order to get it straight. So just be very, very careful and kind of make sure that you're not, as you're cutting, you're not applying so much pressure that the knife could slip off and smack you in the hand, because these are our money makers, y'all. If you have a little bit of wonkiness, that's okay, because we're gonna end up stacking these guys together so that you can't really tell if it's wonky or not, but I think it's pretty much almost there. You can always put your cake stand, your turntable on top of something else so it's right at eye level. That's a really good trick, but I'm not smart enough to set myself up that way. So, here we go. All right, so now I'm gonna split this sucker in half. So I'm gonna go around and make a score all the way around so I don't mess this guy up and make it wonky. And now all I have to do is follow the line. Go a little bit deeper. And this is a bread knife. These are designed, it's a very long knife. It's designed for slicing bread products. So, almost done. All right, so that is our first cake, and we're gonna set that aside. We'll do our second one. And that's it. That's our second cake. All right, guys, so a lot of people ask me, what do you do with these cake crumbs? Well, you can crumble them up with the extra frosting, mix it together with the extra frosting, and you can roll them into balls and make cake pops out of them. Dip them in the white chocolate, dark chocolate, and that is a really great way to use up waste, so we don't have we're not just throwing this cake away. You can also mix it into your bread pudding, which is awesome. All right, so we're going to show you another trick. My trick to the most super moist cake you've ever tasted in your life is to mix simple syrup and add a flavoring. So in this case, we have water, brown sugar, equal parts, and we have a half a stick of butter. I melted that all together, and I'm gonna use that for what's called a soaker. And this is the secret to making a super moist cake. If you've never made a cake recipe before and you're nervous and you're like, well, I gotta bring it to the backyard barbecue, and you know, she's so judgy And if that cake is dry, you know, I'm gonna be in real big trouble. So I'm gonna talk about it, you know, for the rest of the year, like, oh, Martha, her cake was so dry.
Did you hear about Martha's cake? No, what?
Well, it was so dry, they're starting to GoFundMe so she can get some butter. Poor thing. Bless her heart. So this actually prevents you from, you know, kind of an embarrassing situation where your cake is dry. And if it's already kind of a moist cake, it'll just make it extra, extra rich. So you can't really lose with doing a soaker. So we have the simple syrup and the butter. And all we're gonna do is take this cake and we're gonna saturate it. And everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, you invented air. This is incredible. All right, so that's our first layer. Now we're gonna do something called damming the cake. And we do that. This is why the turntable is so nice to have. Because it will turn on its own if we apply enough pressure. We dam our cake so that our filling, whatever filling we use, doesn't kind of escape everywhere, it doesn't leak out. We're not gonna have too much of trouble with that because we are using just pecans, candy pecans. And we're going to smush down our frosting. This is 4 layers. We don't want it to be teeth-chatteringly sweet, so we're not gonna put too much frosting in there. We are gonna put a ton of pecans though. Okay, so that's our first layer. Now we're gonna kind of piece together. See if we have a fatter side. This is the skinny side, I think. So we'll do this. Push it down. And that's pretty good. Start from the middle, kind of make your way around. And this is what we would call a crumb coat. So basically, this cake is nothing more than a crumb coated cake. This is my secret weapon. This is called a bench scraper. It has a 90-degree angle, so it makes it easy to make super straight angles on your cake. You get really square, what we call square shoulders. This right here is the shoulder. So, I mean, it's already shaped at a 90-degree angle, so it's basically telling me, hey, we're already straight. Everything's okay. You go back around here, give her a spin. Nice and smooth. And I can take it and put it wherever I want. In this case, it'll be the bottom layer. And what I say is bring the edges in from the cold. Come on, guys. Come on, don't stay out in the cold. It's okay. Come on in. Also, a 90-degree angle or your elbow up in the air helps to make straight sides. If your elbow is like this, there's no way your spatula is straight. It must be straight up in the air. And that's our naked cake, guys. Thanks for watching. Rustic.